Buenos dias, and wakey from Wrecked City, the biggest liquidation event with over $2 billion that were liquidated in the past 24 hours in leveraged money in crypto, which is crazy. And I actually had to revise my statement that I did last summer, where we also had a bit of a dry phase, where I said crypto is 95% pain and suffering, but 5% glory, which can be life-changing. And I revised the numbers to 98% pain and suffering, but 2% glory. And right now we are in the 98%, which we have been most of the time throughout the past 3-4 years, but the glorious times will be around. And yes, I know you're getting tired of me saying the same thing over and over again, but eventually crypto will have its time, Cosmos will have its time. I also feel like after this flush out of all these noisy events that we had with the Trump meme coin, Melania meme coin, fart coin at $2.40, all these other crazy meme coins that came out of nowhere, I think the market is definitely resetting right now. The cards will be reshuffled and there's going to be a new narrative, a new meta evolving that will rise from those ashes, which I personally obviously hope to be a fundamentals driven narrative, right? A technical narrative back to the roots of crypto and not the next shiny celebrity meme coin that will drag in a lot of retail mindshare and distract from what crypto is actually all about. But we'll see. The market will decide. The market will tell. On this channel here in Cito, I am a mid-curver. I am truly convinced of the AppChain thesis, Cosmos, IBC, interoperability, sovereignty, customizability. And I just truly believe that sooner or later that thesis will play out and also be reflected on the charts. And actually just launched a new product, a new vertical here at Cito Labs, which I'm going to be sharing with you here in this video later as well. Well, $2 billion have been liquidated in the past 24 hours, biggest liquidation event we've seen since the COVID dump, and actually also more than the FTX collapse in total numbers. On the other hand, we're seeing a very pro-crypto government now established in the US, and that also trickles down to all the other governments around the world, which obviously causes a huge race for crypto adoption, for establishing Bitcoin strategic reserves. And we know that Senator Loomis is probably the biggest proponent when it comes to establishing such a Bitcoin reserve on a federal level, but we also have these states racing for a strategic Bitcoin reserves, with Arizona and Utah currently leading the race, both beautiful and actually some of my favorite states, especially Utah, absolutely amazing landscape there. But yeah, they're currently leading the race, and it's going to be interesting to see which states will win this race and if the US can push through a strategic Bitcoin reserve. All signs are indicating that this is going to happen. We even hear Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying that banks are perfectly able to serve crypto customers. And I think eventually through the ETFs, through the government regulatory framework, more clarity, Doge, there will be, probably also making use of crypto in some way, shape or form. I think that everything is primed, but right now we are seeing a major shakeout, huge fear on the markets, but you always have to zoom out and see where are we going 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, right? Instead of chasing the quick money, chasing the quick narrative, right? This is what I'm not doing here in this channel. I'm a fundamentalist. Like I said, I'm a mid-curver. I believe in this thing long-term. I've been around for 7-8 years. But of course, assessing the damage, right now, the price movements indicate the exact opposite. The price movements indicate that it is over, that everything is over. This was the bull run top, and we're now entering a multi-year bear market. People are panic selling. People are fearful. They are scared. And this is where people are literally exiting the industry. At the same time, we do have some light and strong outperformers, not only in Cosmos, but for crypto overall. Mantra leading the pack here now, still over $5 with a market cap over 5 billion, scratching at the top 30, up 3%, while everything else is down bad in the double digits. You can see it here, the second chain, Kronos Crow, ASI, then fourth, Cosmos Atom, around $4.37. This thing went over below $4 while I was sleeping. TIA went below $3. Actually, I think $2.30 or 40, which is absolutely crazy in my opinion. So those are fire discounts, fire sale discounts. And sure, if you are fully deployed like I am, then there's not much you can do. I did have some last dry powder that I fully deployed for TIA around $3.50. I also bought some more Stride and also dYdX. So I don't know, and I believe no one knows if this was the final flush, if this was the final shakeout before we are going up only, or if we're now entering a bear market. But I'm on the camp, obviously I'm a perma bull. I believe in crypto long term. I believe in the fundamentals, in what it does, what the technology enables. But no one knows where it's going in the next 12 to 18 months. I do believe, though, and I'm truly convinced that we're going to see a bull run this year, and that this is just a distracting noise, a distracting signal, and you shouldn't be flushed out at this point, especially if you made it that far. And if you're following this channel, which means you actually are interested in fundamentals, in the technology, in Cosmos and the app chain thesis. Now, looking into some of the upgrades that are happening and some underlying news that are obviously not reflecting on the charts just now, but eventually the market will price them in. An exact same way how everything is severely overpriced in a bull run, everything is severely undervalued in a bear market or a bearish phase like we have it now. So while it might be boring, I think it is very important to keep a tab on all the things, the technological updates that are happening. And in the course of this video, I'm going through at least 5 other Cosmos chains that actually have major product launches or major upgrades that just went down or are about to happen. Starting with the Cosmos Hub and Atom, the mother chain in Cosmos, which is on its way to become a decentralized router after the acquisition of Skip Protocol by Interchain Foundation, which evolved Skip into Interchain Labs now, the operating arm for Cosmos and the Interchain. And they also took over the Cosmos Hub and Atom development for the first time ever, pretty much. So this all went down in December. And now they're working at full speed on improving the chain, making the chain faster, adding potentially also permissionless Cosmos, which means permissionless smart contract deployment to also make the Cosmos Hub a much more competitive chain relative to other smart contract platforms out there. And the V22 upgrade just went down, which was the fastest ever to be implemented within 2 minutes. And what did that contain? 2 things, mainly bug fixes for interchain security and partial set security, and also full audit fixes for the liquid staking module after a thorough investigation, which I think is also good to hear after the community raised concerns about the liquid staking module. Then we have the passing of the Hydro proposal, which is the Atom's liquidity as a service product offering to basically lend out Atom liquidity to DeFi applications, and in return, Atom stakers and Hydro depositors would earn additional yield, and eventually also this would accrue some value for the Cosmos Hub and Atom. This is separate from Interchain Labs though, so Brian got on-chain community funding for Hydro and is leading that project, and you can also join their Telegram chat to ask your questions and learn more about Hydro, or just get in touch here with Btrucks on Twitter. Then we also have Shane, the founder of Stargaze, addressing rumors about Stargaze migrating to the Cosmos Hub, clearing it up that they're exploring the possibility of migrating Stargaze to the Cosmos Hub, and they're working closely with Interchain Labs, but this is not yet set in stone. He's further saying that a comprehensive plan is being developed, and then they will consult community feedback for revisions, also saying that stars holders will come first. As a star holder myself, I'm looking forward to hear such plan, and also how that would entirely work out for the Stargaze community and also make sense for the Atom community at the same time. Next, updates from Mantra which is sitting at a $5 billion market cap, but 9.5 based on fully diluted valuation with a $500 million in trade volume. And this TVL is not actually correct. Well, it might be currently correct on chain, but they are going to have a lot of tokenized real estate, more than $5 billion that is actually already confirmed, mostly with real estate firms here in Dubai, in the UAE. So Mantra is the market leader de facto for real-world asset tokenization, especially real estate in Dubai. And Winnie from my team at Stakecito saying that next stop for is the top 20. And another thing she points out, which I also truly love about the Mantra team, is that they do not feel any shame in being a Cosmos project. And in fact, JP from Mantra, the founder, also responded saying that they're just getting warmed up and will represent Cosmos with honor, which is great to see and great to read. Then we also have a reminder that we pushed out from Stakecito about the Mantra airdrop, the Gen drop that is coming, 10% of which will be claimable on March 18. And with this current price, that's going to be a decent bag. This is then followed by a 6-month cliff during which you get nothing. And then in September 2025, we have monthly vesting for 18 months, 1.5 years to get the rest of our airdrop. And that should be a decent one. Of course, price can go down big time over the next couple of weeks and months, and it will look much different. But considering where is coming from, if you look at this chart alone, like 1 year ago, Mantra was below 20 cents, like 15, 16 cents. Right? And around 2.5 years ago, it was below 2 cents. So just to put things into perspective. Then some updates from Sentinel, dVPN, the Blue Friends, and Cosmos OGs, absolute OGs. They've built an app chain, a sovereign layer 1 blockchain in Cosmos, tailored for privacy, and now also more and more getting into AI infrastructure and adding also AI data layer. Sentinel also has their decentralized VPN service that you can actually download and use right now. And they also just announced the launch of Cosmo dVPN, which is now live on test flight and also integrates Atom for interchain payments that is enabled in-app. So they're also fully Atom aligned. And on Sentinel Scout, you can check out their AI data layer. Big fan of Sentinel since a very long time, to be honest. It is a micro cap, yes. And maybe with permissionless Cosmos on the hub, there could also be a way for Sentinel to just migrate onto the Cosmos hub or whatnot, or maybe try out PSS, partial set security, in a similar fashion how Strug is exploring it. And this is just my personal guess and opinions. I don't have any insights or any confirmed information, but as soon as I have that, I'll obviously share it with you. But I think it would definitely make sense for Sentinel to also consider that as the privacy and AI data layer for the Cosmos hub. Then we also have some news from Stride, which is also brutally hit by the past year bear market downward trend that we see. In fact, if we look at the chart, it's been down only. It went to $7 in February of 2024 when the modularity hype was at the peak, and since then down only, which in my opinion is actually a very interesting opportunity now. I bought some, like I said earlier, I bought some at around 35 cents yesterday, and now we are at 30 cents as I'm recording this video. But they have two major things. Number one, the fact that the STT airdrop, which was a giant one, a 5% of the supply that was airdropped, that has now come to an end, right? So the sell pressure is now over. The outcome of that 5 million Stride airdrop is that 3.2 million have been claimed and 1.8 million that are unclaimed will be repurposed for other endeavors. And there's not going to be any more major Stride airdrops of those dimensions, which yes, on the one hand contributed to the Stride price going down, but on the other hand also increased the token holder base and also the distribution for the Stride token. Also, Stride is gearing up for Berachain launch, which is imminent with the upcoming launch of STBGT that is going to be made available day one. And the incentives for that apparently will be coming from USDC rewards, which already accrued $700,000 that will be used for early STBGT bootstrapping, which is going to be highly competitive. But I think that is going to be a huge cake. The Berachain cake is going to be big. And I think we're literally days away from Berachain's launch. Currently, there are 0 STRD incentives that are deployed anywhere. And they also have another update, which is a buyback and burn feature that is already approved and will go live this week. So yes, I'm betting on the Stride team. They're very ambitious, very smart people. They're fully committed. And they actually started during very dark times in crypto and Cosmos, but still managed to dominate the liquid staking category in Cosmos with over $100 million in TVL. And there was a time when P-Stake and Quicksilver and other liquid staking providers were actually eye to eye, but that is no longer the case. And Stride is just dominating that entire category. Another major Cosmos play for this cycle that could be very interesting if you're into ZK technology, privacy, and DeFi is Penumbra. Penumbra launched a token a couple months ago, which is currently only at a $60 million FTV, and they're launching their privacy DEX, their shielded DEX, which they have been talking about for 3 years now. And apparently they're launching it today. So Penumbra, definitely one for you to also put on your watch list. If you are a cosmonaut, then you also received the airdrop, which you can stake with Stakecito. Same counts for Akash AKT, below $2 now, which is an absolute steal in my opinion. Market leader for compute and GPUs. And there's currently over 1,000 GPUs on the Akash supercloud that is fully on chain with publicly verifiable pricing and availability. And I think sooner or later Akash is going to enter the top 30, top 40 on CoinGecko. So I think right now it's still a very, very good chance to scoop some cheap AKT. A similar picture for Osmosis, 280 million FTV, 28 cents per Osmo coin, which is crazy in my opinion. This is hovering at around all-time lows, which is insane in my view. I did criticize a few things about Osmosis. One thing being that they're just trying to dominate and do way too many things. Interchain DEX, Bitcoin L2, Bitcoin DEX, the hub, IBC router. There's just too many things, and it is becoming unclear what Osmosis really wants to be and wants to be recognized for. Now it seems like they're going all in on the Bitcoin DEX narrative, especially after the Thorchain collapse, which was supposed to be the main topic for today's video, but then the market nuked and I had to cover that. But there will probably also be a full coverage of the Thorchain situation coming very, very soon. TLDR on Thorchain, in my view, is currently very, very risky thing to touch. The community is very divided. Obviously, it could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to scoop so cheap Rune tokens. But yeah, there's also some major changes. We actually have one piece of news I want to share. But yeah, Osmosis with the Bitmosis announcement and alignment, what that means for Osmosis to become the leading Bitcoin DEX, I think definitely an interesting direction, but it's also a little bit away from DeFi Hub, IBC Hub, Interchain DEX, right? So that's what I mean. I really hope for Osmosis to find their spot, for Sunny to not always take shots when other competitors are having tough times. I don't think that's a fine way to go about these things, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, we do have a big week. We still have, momentum on the development side of things. And eventually, like I said, prices are going to reflect on the charts. Smokey the Bearer is probably the only one that can save us now with the launch of Berachain and hopefully a decent Bera airdrop. And yeah, he barely talks about airdrops, but he made this post here saying that airdrops are the furthest thing away from a tool of user acquisition. The cost per user is ridiculous. There's a false narrative, and actually airdrops are a tool for rewarding and retaining your ride or die supporters. So we'll see what that means. But he's saying that everything will be clear soon. But it's not only the Bera airdrop, it's also Bera ecosystem projects that will give out airdrops. And I think a lot of the Bera ecosystem projects are going to do extremely, extremely well. They're all raising millions, if not tens of millions of dollars at, nine figures valuations even. One of which is Henlo, the Henlo meme coin that you can claim if you are holding a Bad Kid, Celestine Sloth, Mad Scientist. You are eligible. You can connect your Stargaze address and you can claim your Henlo token. So go do that right now. Then also Nillon, one of the biggest launches coming up very, very shortly. In fact, in 1 or 2 weeks, we have the Nillon mainnet. We'll also be there with Stakecito, same counts for Berachain, by the way. So we're very excited about that. Then Story Protocol, where we're also joining with Stakecito at Genesis. They are the IP protocol, also fully Cosmos-based. Hopefully, we'll also do a decent airdrop. And they're saying that the total addressable market for Story is the $61 trillion market of intangible assets. So that Story Protocol, they're coming very, very soon as well. I think even February could be realistic launch for Story, but I think definitely in Q1. And then we still have Babylon that is also going to launch late Q1, maybe early Q2. And also Noble, right? Noble, we haven't heard about them in a long time when it comes to whether or not they're going to migrate to the Cosmos Hub and become an Atom secure chain, whether or not they're going to launch their own token or source security from elsewhere. But they're definitely at the center of Cosmos when it comes to providing stablecoin liquidity for the ecosystem with over $500 million. Some of the biggest partners of dYdX on-chain partners in terms of providing stablecoin liquidity there. So Noble definitely want to put in your watch list. And before I let you go, 2 quick announcements. Number one, by JP Tor, who's basically stepping back from Thorchain's core development and focuses more on Ruji and Vault. So he's still going to be around in the Thorchain ecosystem, but I think he just did way too many things and was maybe too ambitious in the short term in terms of what he can achieve in 1 year versus focusing on what he can achieve in 10 years, right? And yeah, I think right now he is definitely in the spotlight and in the crossfire for all these things. I'm sure there's also a lot of things that he has said that the community is now holding him accountable for. But yeah, maybe let me know in the comments if you want me to do a full Thorchain review on the project, maybe some historical context, also in JP. And yeah, what are some of the proposed solutions for Rune moving forward? Now, finally, actually some very positive news, which I understand right now in this market sentiment, probably not something that, is very exciting to hear. But yeah, I did launch Cito Ventures, which is something I'm very proud of, formalizing all the investments I did over the years and investments I'm doing this year and hopefully for decades to come. So Cito Ventures is my own portfolio fund, basically a small syndicate, but it's mostly my own funds that I have deployed here and all the investments that I have done over the years, mainly in the Cosmos ecosystem, of course, like Saga, Berachain, Babylon, Eclipse movement, which also shows you then my clear biases, right? And I've said this over and over again in videos. I always disclose my investments, but I think having a page to go to and see the logos and see where I have my money in, which to us you should always assume every content creator, YouTuber, everyone that tells you anything about a coin, you should always assume that they're holding a large bag, right? So yeah, that's just a basic rule, I would say. Anyways, that's all about that. We'll see where Cito Ventures is going. Maybe also we can launch a group on Echo. That would be cool, or something else. But yeah, hang in. Crypto is not over. We're going to go through these times. This is not something that we have never seen before. So it's just part of the game, right? And getting back to this, crypto is 98% pain and suffering, but 2% glory, which is life changing.